forgot how much I hated this process of putting the 2-minute remover on and then waiting for it underneath the stuff. Like, it's hot outside, and these are my last 3 stairs. I've done the whole stairwells. So all the risers are done. Last 3 stairs, but like prying out all the nails, all that shit, whatever. The stairs are very precarious right now, so it's very scary going up and down them. So I'll get these stripped, sanded, and then I'll do nail filler on them and then put them back in place. And then I will start doing the finish sanding work on all of the risers, because those have to go in and be attached first before all the steps can go in, because they butt up against them as far back as they'll go. Such a process. And I've been doing this for 3 days now. I'm tired of it though. Tired. And then let's not forget, you gotta spread more of the 2-minute remover on it after you've scraped everything off, because it doesn't get everything ever. And this would have happened whether I had done my little refinish to the stairs or not. So zip it if that's what you're thinking. You spread more of that on, then you take your steel wool and you start getting as much of the old varnish and stain and lacquer out as possible. Because if you don't, when you start sanding, the old stain, varnish, and lacquer melts into this shit that makes you go through your sanding discs really fast. All right, so when it's been a while, that's the varnish that still remains, this shiny bit. So I'm starting with 80 grit sandpaper. And what I'm gonna do, because this one is from the last round, since it's already got some shit on it, I am going to go around the backs and sides where there's like old polyurethane that's dried on it, whatever makes it unlevel. I'll go underneath the bottom, just like the ugly bits, and then I'll try and scuff up as much of this crap off of it as I can before going to a new sheet. And there is the original oak, and it's not maple like the rest of the floors are. This is stair number 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 steps, 14 risers, 2 lip things off the landings and the landings. And then I can move on to the spindles that are all in here. And there's a whole bunch of old wood. Here's everything from the parlor, just so you guys can see it. Yay. So they are stripped and rough sanded. They've got their patch in, but I still need to go over with that 80 grit again. I'll do 100 grit, I'll do 120, and then they are ready for polyurethane, because they're just gonna be a clear coat like this. You can see just how wonky things are under the stairs. And you can also see how the stairs separated from the wall over time, how that warped, and the lag bolts that my dad and I put in last year. Oh, you can see the parlor in there, don't peek. I am going to work now on their risers, getting them in place, because everything is numbered where it goes. Getting the risers in place, making sure the top of the riser is level, and then putting the stair on, or the step, and making sure it is level. Now this is going to involve a lot of pieces of 2x4s that I'm gonna be putting underneath, because because you can see at like the top here, it doesn't even connect, which then means the stair is very squeaky, etc. So that is the next order of business. And then once I have all of the pieces of wood in place that makes everything level and we're sitting happy, I can take the risers out and start staining those so they can be finished tomorrow, as well as the stairs, and then we can put that all back together, and then I can pivot to the newel post and getting this finished, which I might actually start tonight, because this has to get put in place before that bottom step can be installed, because I need to go down the inside to screw it into everything so that it's not wibble wobble like that. Ready to stain. And this is the first of 3 colors. I know I said that just doing 1 color upstairs, but the stairs themselves have to match what's going on in the drawing room. So to do that, if you missed the drawing room series, We are starting with Provincial, which is a Minwax stain. And then the next two stains are going to be gel stains. First one being Dark Walnut, which the whole thing gets covered with. And then Kona, and that's to burnish the edges. So I will do those colors tomorrow. It is the next morning. We are onto the Dark Walnut gel stain by Varathane. I like it enough because it dries fast and the boards get a full wash of this. So we're now layering two colors, Provincial and the Walnut. And then I'm gonna run to the store because I have an order to pick up. But when I get back in about 45 minutes, this will be ready for the Kona layer, which is just on the edges and then it's kind of blended inward. Ta-da! Final color, Kona, another gel stain. Get like not a ton on there. And we're gonna kind of go around the sides, and we are working to just kind of like blend it out a bit. Like so. Do all these now. We are officially off to the races. These are all stained, it's dry. I like using this Watco brand. I just feel like it looks the best. It dries pretty quickly and they have a matte finish, which I prefer on everything. So get yourself a good brush. You can find these things in, I think there's 4 different sizes or 3 sizes, but there's 4 brushes at Ace Hardware for like $7. It's pretty cheap and they work really nicely. So I'm gonna get these all polyed. Just gonna do 2 coats on these things and then we're good. Getting a fresh coat of paint on this side bit because it has never been in my plan to stain this. I'm not 100% sure that I want to use this, you know, the upstairs trim color here in the stairwell, but I am okay with using it for now at least, because I know at a minimum I will not be using iron ore any longer. This is very much in need of a paint job in general because it's been looking rough for a year now. So I'm just doing this on here to clean it up before the stairs are all attached. I still have to sand and polyurethane the steps. I'd like to get this done first. And obviously I went through and sanded because there were lots of ridges and weird bits on here from the paint, what was that stuff called? The Retique faux wood that I had used initially to stain the stairs. There were big drips from that. So everything had to get smoothed down. Plus, when I initially painted this, I did this whole lower part for whatever reason with a brush. So there were drips because I couldn't see it because the paint was so dark. So I also had to sand the drips off. I'm just excited how clean this is gonna look. I'm also very much ready to have a stairwell that is not wobbly. Ever since demolition of the drawing room, the bottom step and the top 2 have all been held down by a single screw. So every time you stepped on them, they'd like bump, bump. I mean, the railing didn't go back on until the Halloween party, but this has not been stable since the drawing room demolition. So I'm ready to get this all feeling safe. I'm curious how I'm gonna feel about this color though, like in the broader sense of things in the stairwell here. I'm really not worried about the rework, actually. You might notice I'm not doing like the crown under everything. Like this bit is the little crown detail. I'm not going all the way up to the top because I do know that eventually, probably in the next year, I'll be taking all of the paneling down and doing it better. I didn't do it great, you know, initially. And that's the beauty of hindsight, where you learn how to do things more gooder. So yeah, it will get redone eventually. In the stairwell, I want to have lighting that's like up high on the wall. I'm just not there yet because that's going to involve more plaster and lathe coming out, as well as all that old insulation. You know, that's a 2-story job, so I'm not in a rush to do that, but eventually it'll happen. tucked up in here. Okay, the stairs are leveled, so all of the risers are attached. This took quite a minute, but you can see how like some weren't that bad, and then others, you know, onward. Like it was worse at the top, and then you get down like to the bottom here, and it was pretty much dead on exact. So now I need to go outside and finish sanding the steps so I can put them back on and have access upstairs. Sophia is locked away in the back bedroom today with, you know, food and water and all that jazz. No access upstairs until I get the steps back on. So it's time to get moving. This has taken a lot longer than I thought it would, and I feel terrible because Sophia has been locked up all day, and I could hear her upstairs right now yowling to be let free. Oh my God, what a mess. Man, this stuff is so watery, I forget. Shit. Here's another reason why I like the water-based kind, and that's because you can clean it up with soap and water. I managed to crawl up the stairs. It's precarious. She's not happy. Are you, Granny? No, she got little footsies out too. I know. So we're gonna stay locked in the back bedroom. Right, Moo? I'm sorry. Say bye to everyone, okay? Love you. Trying to get all this off of the newel post. Coming off okay so far. Crap thing about this is that I'm not going to be able to use the power sander. I'm going to have to hand sand everything, which first world problems, but still, it's going to be tiresome. It's coming off one side at a time. It was fun here. I've been out in the garage all day sanding stuff and getting the newel post sanded. So this is it now. Ooh. I had to patch some holes. Wood putty should just be about dry. So I've been working now on the spindles. A year ago, when we did the demo in the, I almost knocked the sander down. When we did the demo in the drawing room, part of the project that I needed my dad's help for was raising the stairs. And we raised the stairs, I'm not gonna remember exactly off the top of my head right now, it was a couple inches because they were sagging so bad. To raise them, that meant taking the newel post off and taking the handrail and all the spindles off, because that was gonna get screwed up when we raised it, because we were using little jacks. I don't know what the hell they're called. Jacks? Yeah, it's a jack. So at the time, I took all the spindles, I labeled them in order of, you know, where they were on the staircase, tossed them in a bag and sent them with my dad. He was pretty quick to do his part. I have not been. But basically, because the railing on the stairs was so low, so low, I wanted it raised 10 inches. So what my dad did was added, I think that's oak. Added oak. It's at an angle because if you just did like a flat bottom on it, it would not be very stable. So it's at an angle with a dowel running up the inside there. So I have already sanded, hold on, I'm having technical difficulties. All right, so I have already sanded them and smoothed that out, and I'm sanding the top. And those are gonna be the only parts that are stained. The rest is gonna be painted, but I still have to sand down, not to raw wood, but sand down the rest. And I'm gonna try that tomorrow. I'm gonna bring one of these over to my parents' house and see if I can use my dad's like spinning lathe tool and some fancy sandpaper on foam that I got, and see if I can real quick, you know, zip through it, which would be great. From there is when it gets really tricky, because then I'm going to have to drill a hole in the bottom, and I will have to drill a hole in each stair so that I can put a little peg in betwixt the spindle and the stair. But before I do that, I need to make sure that these all line up now, because each of the stairs was just re-leveled, as you just saw, and that's gonna change heights because not every stair was leveled the same. We'll see how this all shakes out. These were all extended equally, but it's gonna get tricky. Can't get this to stand upright, so what I'm gonna do is take a 2x4. We're gonna go down in it. 2x4 is in it. It's not going anywhere. So now I can stain it. I finally brought a phone stand out here. I'm losing my mind. This is the top block for it. Damn, look at my arm. How'd that happen? Working on a house. This will get added on once the newel post is in place, because part of the way to attach the railing is down through the top. You can see, maybe if I zoom in, you can see where the screws come out there. This is the side that the railing attaches to, which does not have the decorative molding. So if I can get this color on tonight, depending on how quick it dries, might be able to get the first coat of gel stain on it tonight as well. But I also might pivot right now to going and organizing my closet. But then that means that tomorrow I can get this thing finished and polyurethane. Look how pretty the grain is on that. I did it. Okay, so I've got both gel colors on now, so the burnishing is effectively done. But I'm now taking a little tiny paintbrush and going in underneath things to make sure that everything is saturated, and then any little mistakes I make, I just kind of blend those in and it's gonna be fine. I'm just taking extra care on this. My legs hurt from crouching so much. But we're almost done with it, actually. It's the end of my Memorial Day weekend, so I'm running out of time to finish projects. But I do have one more to do. So today I went and did the wood filler on all these screw holes for the steps, and then did polyurethane on top to seal them. Now I'm going to put the carpet treads on. They are these. They're not my favorite thing in the world, but for 14 of them, it was $100, and I'm not sold yet on an actual runner going all the way down the stairs. I do need more tread on these because they are a little bit slippery. Not so slick. I mean, I've never, knock on wood, I've never fallen down them, but they are a little slick, and it's really other people that make me nervous. My parents, friends coming over, just makes me nervous, especially because there's no railing right now. So these have a formed bull nose on them. And what that does is that I still don't have the molding that goes under the steps. I don't have that stripped and done yet. But when these are on and they all adhesive down, they mold around the front. So from the top of the stairs, it'll look like a runner going down, but from the bottom, you know, it's just gonna look like that. I'm gonna do those now. I think it's difficult to get the film off of them. So if it is, I might just turn the camera off because I'm in a really bad mood. I just finished painting the closet. I'm in a pretty bad mood today. So I'm just trying to get stuff done. I have some deadlines looming for things and stuff, so yeah. Here we go. It's not intrinsically hard putting these down. It's a little frustrating though, because nothing lines up super great. I'm on the last two, but looking down, like that's nice. It's so far over this way because of the railing and the spindles that'll go in. So I didn't like off-center them for any, you know, design choice. They'll be a little bit more centered looking once that railing is on. I'm in a better mood, but I'm losing wind here. I'll finish these two, and I think it's time for a shower and not this. Obviously got this one in place. So what I need to do is I'm gonna draw where the perimeter of this is so that I can measure into it and put some blocks that are attached to the floor so I can screw the base in, because this one's it's pretty good right now, but this thing has been wobbly since the day I bought the house. And part of putting this all back together is that everything is, you know, firm and exactly how it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna take this bottom step off as well so I can drill through the inside of this into the base. It's gonna be getting some action from all angles. I do not want this budging an inch once it's installed. That is not going anywhere. That is very firm in place. So when I took these down, I labeled them all with masking tape or painter's tape and numbered them so I knew which went where. And then as I started sanding these, I've numbered them nice and fat on the end there, just in case I lose what's what. So now I'm gonna get the railing out. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this alone, but I need to get this figured so I can drill the holes and start assembling this thing. Okay, got a railing here. Now, I'm unsure about this. Let's see here. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out. Oh, ow! Sharp. Not sure if I'll be able to reverse engineer my way all the way up. Do you guys know where I put my phone? I may not be a smart man, but I know what love is. All right, so making you hit every stair. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to, because I know where it's gotta begin and end, and the first spindle and the last one fit underneath it, which this had to go up higher than I thought it would. What I'm going to do is make sure it's level, looking at it this way, take some painter's tape and frame it in on the bottom. That way, when it's framed in this way, I can go the other way, frame it in that way. Then I know where my dead center needs to be. I can drill my hole for the peg that I need to put in the bottom of these. And then I know where they're all gonna land on this thingy looking straight. This newel post and that one are not perfectly straight. Yes, I know I just installed that one. I won't be judged. It's not perfectly straight, but it's an old house and I feel confident that I can get away with that. Well, this took an hour and a half, so great, so great. It's wild seeing this up. Obviously everything has to get stained. There's some paint to do on them, yada, yada, but they're leveled. They're centered with where they need to go. I got the tape all around them and some little pencil marks. So now I can mark the dead center underneath on the step where they go and ignore the demolition of the parlor. Don't look, don't look, don't look. Nobody look. I'm gonna take this guy, which is a 3/4 inch drill bit. Drill down to my little tape mark, and then I will do that up the center of each spindle at the bottom. And then I can take a little dowel and glue it in place, and Bob's your uncle, they're not gonna slide around like they used to. This was the hard part, is what I've been dreading for a year, putting back together, so that's great. Today is June 18th, and I've been putting off for way too long finishing the spindles. I've got them all stained and polyurethane, so tops are done, bottoms are done. You can kind of see where the angle is from where it was extended by my papa. But I need to get the middle painted for the staircase spindles, and that's just gonna be black. And then I need to get on the ones that'll go up on the landing, the rest of that painted black. But for now, I'm just gonna start with a roller and doing this main part because that's how I chose to do it. I'm gonna get this set up, and I am using tricorn black, which is the black I've used in the rest of the house, but it's a new version of it called Forte from Sherwin-Williams. They talked me into it. So I just need to do 2 coats of black on the main part of the spindle, and then I need to use a brush for everything else on the spindle. That part will probably take me a minute. And then I'm also incorporating the green trim color that is elsewhere. The sooner I get this done, the sooner I can move on to the rest. But as this first coat is drying, I'm gonna be out in the garage cleaning it up so that I can get the railing from the stairs out there. Always something. All right, we are on day 2 of spindles and getting those purdy. Now today is gonna be 2 colors. First, I got some preliminary work done last night, obviously. So we've got black. Now this whole thing won't be black, but I had to determine, new and old, what I wanted to paint the accent color and what I wanted to paint black. I figured because they're similar but not the same, they do both have this kind of inset swoopy bit, and they both have these outer rounded bits on them. So the outer rounded pieces are going to be the color that is the accent, which is called timber beam, brownish green. And then I need to do a little bit of more fine work with the black to get it underneath where that's gonna be. So I think I'm gonna start with black, get what I need to get done on it, and then I can just focus on using that green and finishing these up. So theoretically I should be done by the end of today with these. And then I'm also going to be taking the railing off, getting the process going on stripping that so that I can get all this finished. It's exciting. I'll tell you one thing, it's that I'm tired of painting spindles. Okay, so right now though I'm gonna get started on the green, the accent color. We've got our 130 something year old spindle and our new. These have kind of this ball shape. Well, this is a ball shape. This one's not, but it's similar. And then at the top, they also have kind of a ball shape. Those are what I'm going to paint the green. If it ends up looking super dumb, I might just leave them all black because that looks fine. But you gotta try, right, before you give it up. So I'm gonna slap this color on. It is Timber Beam by ye old Sherwin-Williams, as I just said, and I forgot. That's what I'm doing. Those have 2 coats on them now. It's 3 coats of green to get it on because you can see through it. And I don't know why I work with green as much as I do because it takes so many coats for it to not be transparent. But the main stairwell pieces are done. They are drying now after their 3rd coat. And those were the more important ones because the railing I'm polyurethaning today and that means I can get that up. It is Monday, so I didn't get done by the end of the weekend. But there were other things going on. So it's great that I can get the main railing installed today or slash tonight. The ones behind me there, those are for the upstairs landing, and I still have prep work that I need to do before I can even measure the final length for like the railing up there. So there's a little bit to go up there still, but I'm gonna finish those shortly. Then they're out of my way. If I never have to paint spindles again, it will be too soon. Now I cut all these little nubbins and they go in these, and then our balusters go right on. And then I'll do a couple nails, but that's to make sure that like it can't be knocked out at the bottom, essentially. That's what that do. Well, it's always got to be goddamn something. It's always got to be something. Okay. Don't. That could have been a lot worse than it was, if you ask me. No. Ah! Okay. Fuck, god damn it. I need to find 2 of the dowels that launched somewhere. The other one went flying. Oh, God. Okay. So we've had some setbacks and issues. They've been rectified. It is attached at the top and the bottom. These were the 2 that, well, I guess now they're able to come out. They wouldn't before. So now that we're figured out, I can start installing all the spindles and nailing them into place. So let's just do that. Saw that. Caught it.